What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. After two very close games in Denver, it looked like we were going to get back-to-back blowouts in Los Angeles. The Nuggets completely took control of the game in that third quarter. They outscored the Clippers 35-17. I thought Jokic was absolutely amazing orchestrating things in that stretch. He had 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists just in the third quarter. He got Michael Porter Jr. going, catching James Harden, being lazy off of him in off-ball situations. Just, you're sitting with your right foot by the lane line. I'm just going to rifle this pass to Michael, and he's just going to go up and shoot it. He caught Harden in a very sloppy switch where he tried to just shove. I can't even remember who it was. I think it was Derek Jones, but he tried to shove one of the Clippers' other perimeter defenders out of Mike. Wasn't ready. Jokic rifled the pass. He knocked it down. He had a variety of insane shots. Just the shot making from Jokic in that stretch. He had this crazy high arcing running floater going through the lane off of his screening action. A lot of Jokic attacking off of off-ball screening actions to try to get Zoo caught up trying to chase somebody through screens, which is something that you don't see bigs do very often. He had a tough movement three running to his right. Same sort of thing. Off-ball screening action, just ran up to the right, got his feet set, quickly knocked it down. He had a break rhythm pump fake three out of the left corner where same sort of thing, a baseline screening action that got Zoo caught up on it, caught on the corner clean, pump faked, guy ran by. He was able to just settle into the shot and knock it down. He did damage on the offensive glass. The passing was insane. He had this feed to Peyton Watson underneath the basket where he caught Ben Simmons in a kind of a one-on-two situation. I can't remember who it was in the corner. I think it was Peyton Watson. No, Peyton Watson was under the basket. And then I think it was Michael Porter Jr., somebody else, might have been Aaron Gordon, somebody in the right corner. And Peyton Watson's the real threat, right? He's a good athlete who's got a easy vertical spacing window that he can just go up and dunk. And Jokic literally just looked Ben Simmons off, just looked towards the corner, and Ben Simmons lunged the wrong way. Jokic rifled it to Peyton Watson, and he got a dunk. You could literally feel Jokic suck the life out of that arena. The Clippers started to miss a lot of easy shots, clean looks for guys like Nick Batum that just weren't going down because you could just feel it in the arena. You could feel the momentum slipping away from the Clippers. The Nuggets also doubled Kawhi to great effect during that third quarter stretch, in large part because Chris Dunn kind of had his first really, really rough offensive game in the series. He made some tough reads on short rolls where he just kind of botched advantage situations. He was unable to knock down his open catch and shoot threes. And that's the thing. You got to make Chris Dunn beat you. And that doesn't mean beat you once. He's going to beat you once. He had a game in the series where he went 3 for 3 from 3. Chris Dunn can beat you, but can he beat you 4 times in 2 weeks? That's the question. And you have to at least force him to do that. And they were able to actually kind of play him out of the rotation to where Ty Lue ended up closing with Bogdan Bogdanovic. But the Clippers really came apart, and it looked like the Nuggets were going to get out there with a comfortable win. But then the Clippers went on a completely insane run of their own to start the fourth quarter. Really started pushing the pace. You could see on the very first possession, they just were running up the floor to try to get something going. They got their pick and roll game going finally with James Harden. James Harden just started to bring more energy. A couple of nuggets, Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic both really relaxed on defense during that run. And it's one of those things. You're up 20. You don't want to just blow through a ton of energy. But they almost lost control of the game during that stretch because it just was over and over and over again. James Harden getting into the teeth of the defense for layups and kickouts to guys for easy shots. Then on defense, the Clippers ran a 2-3 zone where they used the opposite guard to deny the high post catch, which kind of baited the Nuggets into some tough above-the-break threes. They ran 5 possessions of zone in that fourth quarter and got 5 stops. That was a big part. But really, it was the ball pressure. They just upped their overall level of intensity and ball pressure. They forced a bunch of turnovers. They turned Denver over 5 times in the fourth quarter, and it was one of the craziest momentum swings you'll ever see because it was stop, bucket, stop, bucket, stop, bucket. Crowds going absolutely insane. They were even able to weather some shots. Jamal Murray hits a tough elbow jumper. Aaron Gordon ends up hitting a 3 above the break. And even then it was just, but then it would be stop, bucket, stop, bucket, stop, bucket. And it just was out of control freight train towards the Clippers until the final sequence when Nikola Jokic was able to seize back the momentum. So the Clippers go up by 1 towards the end of the game. And on the final sequence, we get this weird kind of set of plays where Nikola Jokic gets called for an offensive foul and a play where he gets called for hooking Nikola Jokic's arm. Now, my biggest issue with this has just been the total inconsistency in the way that this has been called. Like, I watched James Harden hook a guy like with that inside arm on a drive and get 3 free throws out of it early in the series. So like, what's the deal, refs? Is it the arm hook is an offensive foul, or is it we give James Harden 3 free throws? Like, let's get some consistency in the way that we're calling that. So Jokic loses his mind, gets pissed off. They go to the other end. After that play though, Nuggets down by 1. Jokic, I thought this was a genius play on his part. Just goes right back to the same damn move. Just quickly makes a right-handed drive against Zoo. This time he doesn't hook. He just keeps that arm in and tries to blow up that shoulder, kind of snaps his head back, gets the call. He's going to get that call in that situation. After what happened, you just get called for an offensive foul. You complain like crazy. There's a psychological element to this sort of thing, and I thought that was a genius play by Jokic to quick get himself to the free throw line. Smokes the first free throw, nearly smokes the second, but it goes in, ties the game. They go down to the other end of the floor. They get a stop. They come back the other end. Jokic hits this insane left shoulder turnaround jump shot right over Zoo that puts him up 2. Obviously, Zubats ties the game on the offensive rebound off of the James Harden. James Harden was right at the front of the rim and like smoked a layup, but Zoo comes in and taps it in. And then Aaron Gordon wins the game, dunking. Kind of a weird sequence from Jokic. I didn't love the shot Jokic got there. He kind of turned into the somber shuffle, just sprinting out to the right wing. It was a very weird final possession from Jokic, but Aaron Gordon, the man in the right place. James Harden ends up missing a box out. Aaron Gordon dunks it, and that was as close of a buzzer beater as I've ever seen in terms of it being released in time. Like at the buzzer, like it's like the top third of the ball is above the rim and the bottom 2/3 of the ball is below the rim. I thought it was the right call to allow the bucket, but that was about as close as it could possibly be. And man, like what it's impossible to overstate how important that win is for Denver. They don't play again until Tuesday. This is a team that is beat up. Michael Porter Jr. is in rough shape. He's been dealing with some issue with his feet. He's been dealing with an issue with his shoulder. Aaron Gordon told an NBA reporter that he can barely jump right now. Like, they're beat up. They need to go home and sleep in their own beds, and they need a couple of nights to relax. They need to get their legs back underneath them. And so for them to pull that game out, and because they were losing by 1, that could have been an absolute catastrophe heading home down 3-1. This could have been like, it felt like the entire series was hanging in the balance there. And now the Nuggets get to go home, get a little bit of rest, home court advantage the rest of the series. They just have to win 2 out of 3. Much, much stronger position for Denver to be in after that incredibly insane finish. Another clutch win for Denver too. Shouldn't have been clutch. Should have been more of a comfortable win, but I still trust Jokic more than I trust Kawhi and James Harden in a close game late. I didn't like some of the shots that Kawhi got late in the game. He had Jamal Murray on a right wing ISO late where I thought he could have worked more towards the elbow to try to get like a right shoulder or left shoulder fadeaway that's more of like a 50% shot for Kawhi. He ended up taking a pretty tough off the dribble 3 that I didn't particularly like. Like, in crunch time, I do trust Jokic more, obviously game 2 notwithstanding when they ended up making their mistakes. But it's just a reminder that these series are decided by the tiniest of margins. That game could have literally gone either way. And now the Denver's in a much, much more commanding position. They lose that game, Clippers are going to win the series. Denver wins that game. Now it feels much closer to that 50-50 kind of spot that we were in after game 1. And that's kind of where I feel at this point. I'm still feeling like this series is very much a coin flip. But LA had a chance to close it there and it just couldn't close the deal. Some Clippers notes. James Harden's overall level of intensity and focus was just off for the first 3 quarters. Didn't really bring aggressiveness or decisiveness in pick and roll until the 4th quarter, which I thought hurt the team. His off-ball defense has been bad all series, but it was especially bad tonight. Made several mistakes during Denver's 3rd quarter run. I talked about Kawhi needing to be able to operate a little bit closer to the rim towards the end of games. It almost feels to me watching that Kawhi's a little afraid of double teams at the end. And he knows that if he works into the mid to short range, he knows he's going to get attacked and he's going to have to use his passing ability. And it almost, I've seen this dating back even to the Warriors game on Sunday right before the play-in tournament. Like Kawhi seems to be more comfortable at the end of games settling for further jump shots to try to avoid double teams. And he just needs to embrace that. He needs to set it up. Ty Lue needs to set up the spacing a certain way that makes Kawhi's passing reads easy so that he doesn't have to stress about it. But Kawhi needs to operate closer to the basket at the end of games. And the Harden pick and roll is still their best action. It just depends on James Harden bringing the necessary pop. And as we know, James Harden is known for having that type of game. Like, massively important a game, opportunity to take complete and total control of the series, and James Harden just half asleep for 3/4 of the game, which we've seen over the years. We go back to that Spurs series, and there's the concussion that people point to, but there's just so many different examples throughout his career where like massive important game and just the energy and competitiveness isn't there the way that it needs to be. And that's one of the main reasons why, this Clippers team, they're very, very good. I ended up putting them 5th in my contender rankings before the postseason started. But I had them below that top tier. And the main reason why is just there's the aggregate playmaking talent piece that I've talked about a lot, but there's just so many wild cards. It's like, are you going to get a focused, intense Harden, or are you going to get kind of like a sleepy Harden, right? Like Kawhi has even had an up and down nature to his game over the course of the tail end of the season. I don't feel like I can count on the Clippers to be the best version of themselves night to night. And I don't think they have enough margin for error to make up for that sort of thing, which has kept me just a little bit lower on the Clippers than many of my peers that cover the league are.